The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, foretold that the Euphrates would one day reveal a mountain of gold, sparking deadly conflict. In Sahih al-Bukhari, he warned, "The hour will not be established until the Euphrates dries up to unveil the mountain of gold, for which people will fight. 99 out of 100 will die." This prophecy is not a promise of wealth, but a dire warning about the destructive power of greed. The prophet's advice was clear. Whoever is present there should not take anything from it. For centuries, Muslims saw this as a distant sign. Today, the river's decline makes the warning feel urgent and real. The lesson is timeless. Unchecked materialism leads to ruin, and true wealth lies in faith and self-restraint. The prophecy's shocking casualty rate is a stark reminder of the futility of fighting over worldly treasures. The prophet's guidance urges believers to resist temptation and prioritize spiritual well-being. In a world obsessed with wealth, this message is more relevant than ever. What was once prophecy is now a scientific reality. NASA's GRACE satellites have tracked a dramatic loss of water in the Tigris-Euphrates basin, over 144 cubic kilometers in just a decade. The region now faces one of the fastest rates of groundwater depletion on Earth. Drought, mismanagement, and climate change have accelerated the river's decline, with experts warning the Euphrates could dry up within a generation. This convergence of ancient prophecy and modern science is striking. The river's retreat is visible from space and devastating for millions on the ground. Science and faith, often seen as opposites, now tell the same story. The Euphrates is vanishing, just as foretold. The warning is clear. This is a crisis we can no longer ignore. The Euphrates' decline is not just a natural disaster, it's a crisis of our own making. Climate change, dam construction, and decades of conflict have all played a role. Turkey's massive dams upstream have drastically reduced water flow to Syria and Iraq, while war and political instability have shattered cooperation. Water has become a weapon, and pollution has turned the river toxic. Untreated sewage and industrial waste now poison what little water remains. The systems meant to protect this vital resource have collapsed, leaving millions vulnerable. The prophecy's conditions are mirrored in today's man-made catastrophe. The drying Euphrates is a humanitarian disaster for nearly 90 million people. Water shortages have left entire communities without safe drinking water, triggering a public health crisis. Stagnant, polluted water has led to outbreaks of cholera and other deadly diseases. Agriculture has collapsed, forcing families to abandon their land and fueling food insecurity. Hydropower failures plunge homes and hospitals into darkness. The river that once sustained life now spreads disease, hunger, and displacement. The social and ecological fabric of the region is unraveling. The suffering is immense and growing. The prophecy of the Golden Mountain is part of a broader vision of the end times in Islamic tradition. Hadith describe an era of widespread injustice, corruption, and oppression, conditions many see reflected in today's world. The weaponization of the Euphrates depriving millions of water is a powerful symbol of this tyranny, yet Islamic tradition also promises hope. The coming of Al-Mahdi, a just leader who will restore fairness and equity. His arrival is seen as divine intervention in a world filled with darkness. Belief in Al-Mahdi inspires resilience and patience, reminding believers that justice will ultimately prevail. The trials of today, including the fitna of the Euphrates gold, are seen as tests of faith before a promised era of justice. This belief transforms despair into hope and passive waiting into active striving for justice. The narrative is not just about endings, but about the promise of renewal. Is the drying of the Euphrates a natural disaster, a fulfillment of prophecy, or both? Science explains the causes, but the timing and symbolism resonate deeply with spiritual meaning. The mountain of gold is a metaphor for unchecked greed, a warning echoed in our modern crises. The prophet's command to leave the gold is a radical rejection of materialism, urging us to seek true wealth in faith and compassion. The river's decline is a call to action, to address environmental catastrophe, to reflect on our values, and to heed the warnings of both science and faith. For believers, it's a reminder to strengthen faith and ethics. For all, it's a moment for sober reflection. The consequences of greed and injustice are now impossible to ignore. The question remains, will we heed the warning?